Hi students, I welcome you all to the income tax class. As you know, in the previous session we completed first unit of your income tax subject, that is unit number 1, capital gain and income from other source. So about that chapter in detail we studied theoretical and practical problems. So I hope you have not any queries in that unit, right? So now we move for next unit of your syllabus, that is unit number 2, set off and carry forward of loss. So what's your second unit? Unit number 2, set off and carry forward of loss. So before we go for in detail about this unit, first of all let we know the actual meaning of set off and carry forward, and later we move for in detail what concepts we are going to be learning in the chapter, right? So now first of all we go the meaning for set off and carry forward, right? So let's know the meaning of set off first. Yes, what set off? Set off means what? Yes, very good. Set off means adjustment of losses arising from any head with the income of other head. I repeat, meaning of set off. Set off means adjustment of losses arising from any head with the income of other head. So as you know, what are the heads of income? So can somebody tell me what are the 5 heads of income? Yes, yes, very good. Yes, now tell me one by one. What's the first head of income? Yes, that is income from salary. It is the first head. Then what's second one? Yes, very good. Income from house property. Next, third one. Yes, very good. Income from business and profession. Next, fourth one is capital gain. Next, fifth one and very last, yes, that is income from other source. So these are the 5 heads of income. So of these 5 heads, if any one head is incurred the loss, such loss can be adjusted or can be set off with other 4 heads. So let's see an example here. Now I take income from salary is rupees 20,000 of an assessee. Next, that is loss from house property is rupees 10,000. Means an assessee having income from salary rupees 20,000 and loss from house property he incurred rupees 10,000, and income from profession and business I take 30,000. Capital gain, he has not any income from capital gain, so that's why I take that is nil. And income from other source I will take 5,000. So this is the income of an assessee. Now in this situation what happened? Income from salary is 20,000, loss from house property is 10,000, income from business and profession is 30,000, capital gain is nil, and income from other sources 5,000. Now what's the total income of this assessee, right? So see here, now in this situation what happened? This loss of 10,000 can be set off with any other 4 head. Means the head which having income, with that we can adjust that one. So that's why I written here adjustment of losses of any head means house. Right, I taken here income from house property. From second head, it having loss of rupees 10,000. This 10,000 loss I can adjust with the income of salary, otherwise income from business. So why not adjust with the income from other source? Because it is 10,000 and it is 5,000. Right. So now this loss I adjust with the salary. That adjustment I will call as set off. Right. This 10,000 I will set off with the income from salary. So now what happened? Income from salary is 20,000. I deduct 10,000 from that. So now its salary is actually it is 20,000. Out of this 20,000, I deduct 10,000. So income from salary I will take here 10,000. So this is 10,000. This is 30,000, 40, and this 5, 45,000. So what's the total income of assessee? Yes, total income of assessee is 45,000. But if you have to taken 20 plus 30, 50, 50 plus 5, 55,000 actually income he has. But we adjusted this loss with the other head. So this adjustment of loss is we called as set off. We called as it is set off. So I hope you come to know the meaning of set off. Set off means adjustment of losses in the same head or with the other head. I repeat, in the same head. Sometime we can adjust the loss in the same head itself. If it is not possible in the same head, then we can go for other head and there we can adjust. Right? So let's go for an example of set off. Set off ka mattond example na tagotenre. So let's move for an example of set off. So here I will take an example of same head. Same head the example tagotenre. So Mr. Arun has two houses. House 1 is X and house 2 is Y. Right? He having two houses. House X and house Y, where what happened, income from first house, that is X, he earned rupees 50,000, but on other hand loss from house Y is 10,000. So it is the same head. It is same head means it is income from house property itself. We cannot adjust the loss with other head here. Right? If it is not possible inter head, then we can go for adjust with the. If it is not possible in the same head, then we can adjust with the other head. So here, income from house X rupees 50,000, loss from Y rupees 10,000. Now we can adjust this 10,000 loss with the income of rupees 50,000. So can somebody imagine what's the total income of Arun? Is it 50,000? Is it 60,000? Or it is 40,000? Yes. Which one is exact answer of Mr. Arun's income from house property? 50, 60 or 40? Which is? Yes, very good. 40,000. How it comes? Yes, 10,000 loss adjusted with the 50,000 income. So let's see that one. Yes, we can adjust here income from house property. So here, income from house property of Mr. Arun. Now, income from house X is 50,000. Loss from house Y rupees 10,000. Now I will adjust this 10,000 with the 50,000. So taxable income of Mr. Arun of house property rupees 40,000. How it comes? Yes, I deducted this loss, means adjust. So this process we call as set off, right? I hope everyone come to know what's meant by set off. Set off means adjustment of losses with the income of other head or same head, right? We can adjust the loss in the same head or with other head. So now it is clear about set off. Now what's the title of the unit? Yes, set off and carry forward. So now we go for second meaning, that is carry forward. So let's know the meaning of carry forward. What's meant by carry forward? So here carry forward means, so if the loss is not, so here if the losses could not be, yes, I will written here not, if the losses could not be fully set off, that is fully adjusted in the current year. If it is not possible to set off the loss in the current year, then such losses should be carried forward for subsequent, that is next year, next assessment year. So if it is not possible to set off in the current assessment year, then such loss can be carried forward for subsequent assessment year. So now we go for example for that also. So let's go for an example. Let's see an example here. As I go for same example here, Mr. Arun has two houses, house X and house Y. Here income from house X is 50,000, loss from house Y rupees 60,000. So loss is more than income here. So we can set off this loss up to rupees 50,000. So still 10,000 remain here in this current year, and it is not possible to set off with other head also, right? So now in this case what happened? See here, in this case now income from house property. So income from house X is 50,000, and next loss from Y, that is 60,000. So we can set up to 50,000. So still 10,000 loss remain in this current year, right? And it is not possible also to set off with other head also, right? So if it is not set off in intersource head, then we can set off with other head also. But we have taken example, he is having only income from house property. This person having only income from house property, he has not any kind of other income. So now in this case what happened? This 10,000 loss is not possible to set off in this current year in the same head as well as with other head. Now in this case, this 10,000 we carry forward. This 10,000 loss we carry forward for next assessment year, right? This can carry forward for subsequent assessment year, and there we can adjust this loss. So if the loss is not possible to fully set off in the current year, then such loss we can carry forward for subsequent year, right? So I hope you come to know the meaning of set off as well as carry forward. Set off means adjustment of losses with same head or with other head, If it is not possible to set off in the current year, then such loss can be carried forward for next year. So that process we called as set off and carry forward of losses. So I hope you clear the title of the unit, right? So now we move for next two terms oftenly used in this chapter, right? So let's move for next term. Yes, here type of set off. There are two types of set off. First one is inter-source set off and next one inter-head set off. Right? There are two types of set off. One is inter-head set off and another one is inter-source set off. So let's know the meaning of inter-source set off and inter-head set off. So let's move for first one, that is inter-source set off. So here inter-source set off means meaning of inter-source set off. Inter-source set off means setting off the losses under same head. Setting off the losses under same head means loss from house property we can set up with income from house property. Then loss from business we can set up with income from business. So if we set off the losses in the same head, so as we seen in the example, income from house X is set off with that income is set off to the loss of house Y. So if under the same head we can make the adjustment or we can set off the loss, then it is called as inter-source set off, right? So now next we go for next one, inter-head set off. So what's meant by inter-head set off? Inter-head set off means loss of one head can be set off with the income of other head, right? If loss of house property is set off with income from salary, then yes, house property is different head and salary is different head. If the loss of one head is set off with the income of other head, then it is called as inter-head set off. And if the losses are adjusted, losses are set off in the same head, then it is called inter-source set off. So you should know these two meaning clearly, inter-source set off and inter-head set off. Inter-source set off means in the same head we can set off, and inter-head set off means loss of one head can be set off with the income of other head. But there are certain terms and conditions to make the set off and carry forward of losses, right? With that conditions and with that some terms we can come with in next session, right? So up to there you please clarify all these things. In the next session we meet with new concept of this chapter. So till then, thank you everyone.